men see money as power, while women see money as security.
If my wife or my husband starts earning more than I'm earning today, what should I do?
Well, of
Because
course,
it's a crisis.
if it's a good relationship, then it shouldn't be a problem. You just say, how are we going to handle this? But here is a problem, because sometimes even the women feel, the last 3 years, I've handled 3 divorces whose main premise was the fact that the lady began to earn way more and she felt the dude was not pulling his weight. And yet it was a crisis of business.
I'm seeing a lot of relationships breaking at this point, including mine. It broke mostly because I succeeded, because I didn't know how not to succeed. I was trained to succeed, isn't it? So how again do I not do my best at work? Or how again do I not take a master's or do what? I realized I needed to take myself to a certain level, because now I could not, you can't tag along someone. So I think from these conversations, is there a way in which we can find out from the men, how do you not get threatened? Because it's 2 different individuals in terms of lives. So how do you not get threatened? And I've experienced it a lot with the relationship, even post-divorce. When you mention your titles or your accolades or your CVs, you get people shrink, people keep quiet, people withdraw, people stop calling you. So it's not something that is even with relationships. There's a crisis in terms of how do men handle this woman who is suddenly an empowered, who's earning more than you. We're not rubbing in your face, but it's a fact. The bank account shows that. But I'm raising daughters and a son. And I see my daughters not even going for marriage. I see that generation. They are not thinking about that. So there's a generational change also in terms of how we are parenting these people is very different from how we were parented. So these conversations are very important, and especially for some of us who are raising boys alone. I think for me, the biggest conversation for me here is to see who will stand in the gap for these many boys, and there are many. We have very many single mothers raising boys without that father, the father oversight. We are moving along every day. These children are growing up, but I'm really fearing for, in a generation to come, we'll have even more confusion than we have now.
I actually believe that the crisis that we have as men is within ourselves. It has nothing to do with the women. It is us finding ourselves. So we might come here talk about the woman having more money, me having less money or having more money, but we have cases and we have evidence of guys who are rich who are divorcees, and guys who had no money and still divorced. So money is not the factor here. And I actually believe that the main gap that has come in is the way that Daktari was talking, that initially guys were brought up communally, but now there's this whole thing about chasing the dream. And so what happens is we are going to war and we are forgetting that we are first called in our families. So a guy will go make billions at the expense of raising and passing the baton to the next generation.
There is the insecurity that we have as men that plays a big role. Then you feel threatened even when there's no threat. So that I agree, and that's why we're doing the programs you're doing and we are doing to try and encourage the boy child to feel strong enough that the girl child doesn't have to earn less or be less for you to feel good. If I were telling the ladies, shine forth, don't hold back your light, but let the boy be able to stand on himself, on his own, and realize his own confidence.
My advice to men is first know yourself, accept yourself. Don't be defined by money. I'm sorry, don't be defined by money, but please don't sit back. Women love ambitious men. You need to be showing that you're pulling your weight.